Most of our friends have gotten jobs. Some are still in the interview process, so we're all very lucky.
Abby likes math a lot better. Brittany would rather write something. Abby wants me to explain everything. Brittany just wants the quick answer.
The physiology of a body is very complex, especially when it comes to female reproduction. I suspect everything will go normally, but that only time will tell.
Nothing will be the same anymore. Something terrible happened to the twins who share a body but feel things differently. As they were getting ready for their last year of college, one suddenly felt a sharp pain in her stomach, but the other didn't feel anything. This pain has shaken up their busy lives of teaching, hanging out with friends, and getting ready to graduate, showing how different they really are despite being joined. What does this mean for their dream of becoming teachers? Tune in as we find out what this sudden pain means for Abby and Brittany's future. The continuing saga of conjoined twins, Abby and Britney. As the final year of college approached, the balancing act of student teaching, spending time with friends, and preparing for graduation became increasingly challenging. Amidst these bustling activities, news about the conjoined twins brought a sudden twist. The first twin began to experience pain in a specific area of their shared body, indicating her discomfort by pointing to her stomach. Surprisingly, her sister reported a completely different sensation. Despite their conjoined status, each distinctly felt her own physical and emotional experiences, highlighting the profound individuality within their shared existence.
Abby is more into pink and girly and preppy, and I like hats and I like different color.
As the discomfort grew, doctors rushed to help. Everyone hoped they could find a way to make the suffering twin feel better soon. From the moment they were born, they have lived a life that's quite different from most people's. They share a body, but have their own hearts and minds. This has brought challenges many of us can't even imagine, constantly testing their strength. Now they seem to be facing a situation that could push them to their limits. They were on the cusp of a moment that could alter their lives forever. This impending event loomed large, filled with potential and unknowns, marking a pivotal point in their unique journey together. As they faced this significant milestone, the anticipation of how it would unfold added an intense layer of complexity to their already extraordinary circumstances. People have always been fascinated by their story. Being conjoined, they faced many obstacles that are hard for most of us to fully understand. But through it all, they've moved forward with amazing bravery and determination. Recently, a new chapter in their lives has begun. As newborns, they faced several serious health concerns. Experts were uncertain about their chances of survival, and even their family was unsure of what their future would look like. There were questions about how their shared organs would work together and whether they would have severe health problems that might keep them from living a normal life. Despite these concerns, their parents, Patty and Mike, chose to focus on the positives rather than the difficulties. They were determined to give their daughters a life filled with love and opportunities, no matter what challenges lay ahead.
I've had TV people come up to me and say that I owe the world more of an explanation regarding Abby and Britney. I don't owe the world nothing. And Abby and Britney don't owe the world anything either.
As the twins grew up, they were constantly monitored by doctors to track their progress. They reached milestones like walking and talking a little later than other children, but each of these moments was celebrated by their loving family. They developed an incredibly close bond, and despite the many challenges they faced, they grew up to be healthy adults. Their parents made sure they got the best medical care and attended regular schools. In time, they became well-loved in their community, making lots of friends and showing a passion for life that inspired everyone they met. But that wasn't the hardest part. They were like any other kids, taking part in school activities and doing well in their studies. Their classmates liked them, and even though people were naturally curious about how they managed day-to-day tasks, everyone was kind to them. This kindness helped them make strong, lasting friendships and stay involved in many school events. Over time, they became known not just in their town, but around the world, appearing on TV shows and in documentaries. Despite this, their parents made sure that people saw them as two separate individuals with their own likes and dislikes. They shared one body but had two different personalities. One was energetic and loved sports, while the other was quieter and enjoyed creative activities. Despite these differences, they had to work together all the time, even for simple things like walking, running, or driving, because each controlled one half of their body. This meant they needed a lot of teamwork to do everyday things like getting dressed, eating, or writing. As they got older, they faced many health problems because of their unique situation. They had to go through several surgeries to stay healthy. Each operation required careful planning and the help of a dedicated team of doctors and their family. They also needed regular checkups to make sure they stayed well and active. But this wasn't the hardest part. Living so closely together also brought emotional challenges. They had to deal with complicated feelings in daily interactions, which was tough at times, but it made their bond even stronger. It also helped them become more resilient and ready to handle life's ups and downs together. They went to Bethel University in Minnesota, where they took part in both the social and academic parts of college life. They did well and showed that, despite their physical limitations, they could live full and meaningful lives. Eventually, they became preschool teachers, a job they loved because it allowed them to help others. Through their journey, they inspired many people to look beyond appearances and see the unique qualities and dreams of each individual. From college graduates to classroom leaders, Abby and Britney face each day with courage and joy. Abby and Britney's journey from college to classroom heroes. Graduating from college was just the start for them. After getting their degrees, they decided to work as preschool teachers in the same classroom, a perfect match for their different personalities. One twin, lively and outgoing, had a talent for explaining tricky ideas in a way that kids could easily understand.
The uniqueness of their situation as conjoined twins and the fact that Abby and Brittany are together. They're constantly in a team teaching mode.
Her sister, calm and gentle, quickly became a favorite among the young students. In the classroom, their differences actually made them a great team. The energetic sister's enthusiasm made the lessons fun and engaging, grabbing the kids' attention. On the other hand, the calm and caring presence of her sister created a peaceful and supportive learning space for everyone. Together, they taught their students not just about subjects like science and math, but also about important life skills like respect, hard work, and teamwork. This balanced way of teaching helped the kids learn while also building a sense of community in the classroom. But the job wasn't always easy. Spending many hours standing and keeping up with a classroom full of active preschoolers was tough. Still, they found ways to deal with these challenges over time so they could keep doing what they loved without it being too hard on them. Their impact went beyond just teaching academics. They played a key role in shaping the values and character of their students, leaving a lasting impression on the children they taught. Over time, people's views of them also changed. At first, people noticed them for being physically conjoined, but soon they were recognized for their positive influence as teachers and their dedication to living full, happy lives. But this wasn't the hardest part. As their lives became more public, they were often asked personal questions about relationships and family planning. Instead of avoiding these topics, they chose to answer openly and honestly. Their willingness to share these personal details helped people understand them better and opened up important conversations about personal choices. Their story has been featured in documentaries and interviews where they've been seen as examples of strength and joy. Through these shows, they've shared their journey from childhood to adulthood, showing their close bond and their bravery in facing life's obstacles. They've shown that it's possible to live a happy and meaningful life even with big challenges. They are more than just two people with a rare condition. They've become inspiring teachers and role models who remind everyone of the importance of embracing challenges and recognizing each person's unique contribution to the world. Whenever they appear on TV or in interviews, they change how people see not only conjoined twins, but also how to live with disabilities. By sharing their lives openly, they inspire others, showing that it's possible to find happiness and success even when facing physical or social challenges. Their journey is a strong example of how determination and inner strength can make a big difference. Their dedication hasn't only inspired those in the disability community, it's also touched anyone who's learned about their story. Their efforts to increase visibility and acceptance for people with disabilities have started important conversations in schools, workplaces, and communities around the world. Their love for life and decision not to let their condition define them has encouraged others to rethink their own problems, motivating them to chase their dreams with more energy.
There's something that really annoys them, and that's when people feel they have the privilege to just turn around, snap a photo of them, or it drives them crazy because they feel like they're being violated.
They enjoy bright and bold fashion choices, like pink and purple hair, shiny hats, and eye-catching jewelry, showing off their individuality and personality. Teachers, caregivers, and professionals who work with people with disabilities often use their experiences to teach others how to overcome obstacles and appreciate diversity. They are very involved in telling their own story, sharing both their successes and struggles while keeping some parts of their life private. But this isn't the hardest part. By choosing how to share their story, they're able to control how others see them and encourage others with similar challenges to take control of their own stories. Their openness has inspired many others with disabilities to share their own experiences, adding to the important conversation about living with disabilities. This conversation is key to building understanding and compassion within communities. It helps break down the misconceptions and fears that people sometimes have about disabilities. They use their platform to advocate for more accessible schools, workplaces, and public spaces, fighting for better policies and stronger support systems. Their work doesn't just stop at raising awareness, it's focused on making real changes that improve the lives of people with disabilities in many areas of society. The story of their lives highlights how important family and community are. They often talk about how their loved ones have been a constant source of support. They credit their success and ability to face their unique challenges to their family, friends, and larger support network. This part of their journey isn't just inspiring, it's practical advice for other families going through similar struggles, offering hope and ideas on how to help their loved ones. They are always working to teach others about what life is really like for conjoined twins, and more generally, what people with disabilities can achieve. Their story shows just how important determination, support from others, and setting personal goals can be, no matter what challenges you face. Life isn't simple for conjoined twins, and they continue to face each challenge together. The struggle and strength of conjoined twin. As they share their experiences, they become strong advocates for accepting disabilities and living full lives, even with physical limits. Their story lifts people up, but it's also full of tough medical challenges.
I ask them periodically what they feel and sense. One girl cannot sense touching on the other girl's arm and vice versa.
These are some of the big hurdles conjoined twins like them face. Conjoined twins are rare, happening when one fertilized egg, meant to become two babies, doesn't fully separate in the early stages of pregnancy. This means the babies remain physically connected, which happens in about 1 in 50,000 to 200,000 births. Sadly, many conjoined twins don't survive long after birth because their condition is so complicated. There are different types of conjoined twins, and how they are connected affects their survival and quality of life. For example, twins connected at the chest, called thoracopagus twins, may share important organs like the heart or liver, making separation surgeries extremely difficult. Omphalophagus twins are connected at the abdomen and often share a liver, but have separate hearts, giving them a slightly better chance of survival. But that's not the hardest part. Craniopagus twins, who are connected at the head, face a completely different set of challenges. Conjoined twins can share body parts like brains or blood vessels, and how well separation surgeries go depends on where they are connected. Twins joined at the pelvis, called ischiopagus twins, often share intestines or limbs, making daily tasks and movement tough. On the other hand, twins connected at the lower back, known as pygopagus twins, may share parts of their digestive system or spine. One mother recalls her shock during childbirth. She expected one baby, but the doctors discovered 2 conjoined babies. Despite the surprise, conjoined twins like hers often have better chances for successful surgeries. Their survival and quality of life depend on many complex medical factors, but with the right care, they can still thrive. When twins are born physically connected to each other, their chances of survival and the difficulties they face depend a lot on where they are joined. For example, twins connected at the stomach have about an 82% chance of surviving, but for those joined at the hips, the chances go down to around 63%. The hardest cases involve twins connected at the chest or head, where the surgeries to separate them are much more complicated. From as early as 12 weeks into the pregnancy, doctors can spot conjoined twins using ultrasound or MRI scans. These scans are really important because they show exactly where the twins are connected and which organs they share.
Conjoined twins are very rare. They are predicted to occur 1 in 50,000 births. The majority of those births, however, are stillborn, and the majority cannot be safely separated.
This is crucial information, especially if there's a decision to try separating the twins through surgery. Surgery to separate conjoined twins is always considered carefully. Doctors look at the health risks, the organs involved, and what life might be like for the twins after the surgery. Sometimes, if the situation is urgent, surgery may need to happen right away. But separation isn't always possible. In many cases, twins who can't be separated adjust to their condition and live happy lives. A famous example is Chang and Eng Bunker, conjoined twins from the 1800s who traveled the world and settled in the U.S., showing that life can still be rich even if you're conjoined. But here's the thing, not knowing exactly why conjoined twins are formed makes it even more complex. Scientists think it might happen when an embryo doesn't fully split into two, or when two embryos merge early on. Pregnancy with conjoined twins is particularly hard on the mother. It often leads to early delivery and requires a cesarean section. After birth, the twins need special care, and if separation is possible, surgeries are usually delayed until the babies are stronger. These surgeries often happen in stages to give both twins the best chance at living separate, independent lives. But the hardest part for families and doctors is deciding whether or not to go ahead with the surgery. It's not an easy choice, especially if the operation might put one or both twins at great risk. If they stay conjoined, they will likely face some unique challenges, both medically and socially. However, being together might also allow them to form a bond that's deeper than most people will ever know. Still, the challenges don't end there. They face a lot of obstacles in terms of physical health, emotional well-being, and ethical issues in their medical care. But despite all these hurdles, with the right medical support and the advances in modern medicine, many conjoined twins live long, fulfilling lives. But that's not the end of the story. There's still a lot to learn about this rare condition. Ongoing research is key to understanding more and improving the care for these special cases. These unique stories remind us of just how complex human life can be and how resilient people are, even when faced with incredible challenges before they're even born. What lies ahead for Abby and Brittany Hensel, given their unique physical and emotional challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.